Kadir, don't worry. It's going to be private. Only y'all have access to the video. I mean, who can be looking for my class on YouTube? To be honest, come on,
Your
right?
previous
Just
classes to see
previous
how you start to
classes.
the next class.
When you leave a class, you just go back to see what's going on in class. No.
Everybody different,
Going to be
sir.
used.
All
This is
right.
going to
I
be used
guess
to
because
search
my class is
portfolio
so
in future.
amazing, people will watch it and rewatch it. That's probably right. You're probably right.
Yeah. It's going to
All
be used
Okay,
right.
to
so you
search
upload the
portfolio
other
in future.
classes?
Pardon?
You uploaded the other classes already?
My older classes?
No, our classes.
Oh no. No.
Oh,
I
okay.
did not. Anyway, moving on. All right. So this part now, you guys are going to do some work. We spoke about color. Last week, you guys took some time to figure out who your client is, what it is that they want. You're playing with their name. Now we're going to see. Well, come on and get the bonnet icon weapon. Oh, you don't have a camera. I see. All right. What am I saying? Right. We spoke about our client. Maybe we got the three words that describes them. And now we want to do a couple things, right? We're going to spend about, let's call it, I'm going to give you 15 minutes where you're going to be thinking about, all right, so what colors am I thinking to associate with this client of mine, right? You could start on the simple end. Do you feel like they're warm? Do you think they're cool? Right? If they're warm or cool, how are they going to show up? Right? How would they show up to on social? How are they going to show up in person? If they're artists, how are they going to show up on stage? What does that feel like? What does that look like? All of these thought processes are going to help you with the projects that you are thinking about doing. Has anyone selected their five as yet? No? Okay, okay, okay. No problem.
I have a general idea of what I'm more liable to choose,
Sure.
but till they get all the criteria worked out, it doesn't make sense jumping into one and then try to use the criteria though to justify what I'm doing. I rather have all the criteria up front so I can say, well, listen, I know a dark man is going to be XYZ, and
Right.
all these other different things have to be a factor. So this is why we take this, this, and this, or the first five or whatever. So on from there.
Okay. Shantia, what are you thinking about doing for your five? Let me think keep falling down. Shantia, what do you think about doing for your five? If you could remember what the projects are. All right, no worries. Right. So we're gonna just take some time and you're probably not gonna need 15 minutes for this, but like how do you think your client, what kind of color do you think they're gonna live in? All right. Are they a passionate person? Does red feel like it makes sense for them? This doesn't necessarily mean that they have to wear red. And since you have a teddy bear or whatever your stuffed animal is, everyone has a stuffed animal by now. No? Yes? Michael, you got your stuffed animal? I feel like a
No,
no.
no, 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 no.
Okay. You gotta get this stuffed animal, man. You gotta meet your client. Y'all are here doing all this work with no client.
What we are
Right?
doing is considered to be research and development, so that when our client does come to us, we have the knowledge and we just know exactly what template we could assign or partake with them.
See, Jamal, that sounds good, right? But what you doing research for a client that you don't have yet is my question. Right? You
But
got
we learning the actual aesthetics of everything. We learn the full layout so that way we client don't come and asking me things that we can't answer. You
that's where
know?
you get all the information from your client. So you need to have your client so you can ask the questions.
Fair point. Fair point. That's a
That's
very
right.
fair point.
Clock it. Oh, my daughter said I being cringe. Um, right. So spend some time thinking about those colors. You go ahead, you write that down. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna take a think about the projects that you guys have, and we're gonna take a stab at one of those. With this whole color situation in mind. All right, you want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and deciding between 5 and 6. All right, so one is the game plan. Excellent choice. 2 is the stylescape. All right, so this color thing would definitely help you with the stylescape. For sure, because at least you know the color of things that should be showing up. Game plan, stylescape, photography, 20 images. What is 4? All right, 4 is the booth. Color will help with the booth as well. Kind of confused about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Commander, you were here last week? I do not remember. Yes, sir. You were here when I went through what the different assignments are? Unless I didn't do that last week. I didn't do that last week. I did that the week before. Okay. All right. Oh, I definitely need to upload these things.
I think last week what we did was we discussed
Fonts.
but yeah,
Stylescape.
typefaces and so on. We also asked about the backgrounds of our stuff for our client session.
Yeah.
So that's what we
So we did
discussed
the
last week.
stylescape. We did
Right.
Fonts, typefaces,
Correct.
hierarchy of headings, and
Right.
we
That's
probably
actually where
went
we
into
stopped. We actually stopped the hierarchy of edits.
okay. Okay, you have a basic understanding of what to do. All right. These are with your 5. Shantia, that you're saying that you have a basic understanding of what to do with your 5 then? Because of your background? Okay, we'll see.
Wait, sir, you wants to tell you what we're doing now, or them just volunteering this information?
If you are finished with your colors, right? You know, like what kind of color vibe your client is gonna have, then you could just type done in the chat and I will know. If you also know what the 5 projects are, then you could type those in the chat too. But the main thing is just based on what we spoke about in terms of the color, right? Like what kind of space do you feel your client would take up as far as color is concerned? Right? Are they warm? Are they cool? What? Are they more passionate? Right? And that might even help you with those descriptive words, right? Like if you think in blue, you might be like, all right, cool. Is my person always also kind of reliable? Are they trustworthy? I mean, those words that are associated with those colors. And we'll see how we can take that from there. All right, done. Love to see it. All right, so since you're done, Jamal, take a think. Actually, you don't have that, so you can't think about it. Let me email. Email that. Okay, I'm gonna give this 2 more minutes. It feels like it was longer than it actually was. Feels like it was longer. All right. Once you have your colors, like if you actually chose actual colors, if you remember some of the ones that I went through, like we got complementary, we have, where did that go? All right, we got complementary.
Monochromatic,
Right.
and the word you can't pronounce, triadic and tetradic.
Yeah. So if you have, like, if you know your client is maybe warm or cool, right? And you want to take a swing at, all right, let me see, you might live in this sort of place. Like these are the type of colors that we want to use. Then you can go that deep as well. That's completely fine by me.
The color scheme that starts with the word A, I see it as the word analogy, coming from the word analogy. So I call it analogous color scheme.
Right?
That's just how we refer to it in the field as an analogous color scheme. So
No problem. Somewhere around analog, analogous. I feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong, but hey.
well, if it helps you, I pronounce it as analogous color scheme.
That's
You know, like
nice.
analogy, so analogous.
It sounds a little better than mine. So that's fine. All right. So once you have those colors together, right, you can give me a brief paragraph, right? A brief paragraph, like, why is this your choice? Why does this group of colors, whether it's warm, cool, whether it's complementary, why does that speak to your client for you, right? Give me a little paragraph, a little paragraph. Like you chose it for a reason, all right? And you gotta be able to communicate that reason. Yes, I know it's weird. It's like, why you gotta do all of this for color? Color?
I'm ready to give it a shot if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
Kimani, you could tell what your, or you want to say what your paragraph is?
You mean me or Kimani?
I mean you, Jamal.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Unless you want me to type it out.
I was gonna say you could type it out, but I mean if you want to talk on the call,
Oh, that's not
I
a
ain't gonna
problem.
stop you from talking on the call.
That's not a problem. All right, so Darkman, his color scheme would be, well, his colors would really be a warmer tone of the color palette. So you would get some reds, you would get some blacks, and you would get some blues in the form of a complementary color scheme. And the reason for it is because his background is what led him to music. So he came up from a rebellious background. His parents wanted him to go in one direction, whereas he wanted to go in another. And that is why he embodies these colors. You know, he has a different perspective on life. And he's with that rebel archetype. So that's why sometimes he's red, sometimes he's blue, but overall he's bold, he's dark man. So that's where the black comes in. And that's
Okay.
how I
He's warm and cold. All right. All right. All
A
right.
bubble that sees bold, you start with.
All right. Class, as people share or type in the chat, you're going to then like, if we were in a classroom, we'll kind of like be assessing each other. So you could give some feedback on what you think, right? If you need a little background on the client to get a better idea of what was just said, then cool. Kimani, remind me about your client. What does your client do? What is their main thing? Are they a event planner, artist, musician? What does your client do? Right. Temple Teddy. Temple Teddy was a rapper. Was he a rapper? I think he was a rapper. All right, cool. So I guess you could type that in the chat. Why does, with Tempo Teddy, right? I know you last week, we would have gone into the A type, B type, C type goals, and you want to use green because that represents wealth. How does green and thinking about wealth tie into what Tempo wants? Then you go ahead and type that in there. Jazaria, since you finished with your color, same question would apply, right? If you're writing your paragraph, then oh, all right, no problem. All right, so monochromatic yellow. Yellow is the color that radiates joyfulness and something of value. You Google yellow just now? You Google? Let me know.
No, yellow is my favorite color. So
Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Um, Remind your client.
the name was Viva Entertainment, but I feel like changing it. She's an event planner.
Right? Any specific type of events, or she does everything?
But no, she does like garden parties and small entertainment, but her real goal is to do like national showcases and different types of showcases.
Okay. Was it your client that wanted to do something like Carrot Festa?
Yes.
Okay. Got you covered. You like the outdoors. You like being outside. I can see the yellow in there and gardens and all of that. All right, cool. I see it. Uh, who else was done? Anybody else done? Choosing your color? Even if you're not actually done for you, you could be done. Like just pick a side. You want to be warm or cool? We'll talk about it. Right? You might decide to pick a side after we have a conversation. All right, Savannah, how are you? You doing pretty good? Did you pick a side? Are you warm? Are you cool? Michael, what about
Warm.
you? You pick a side? All right, so your client is cool. Remind me what your client does.
So I still, doing little edits where I can change it, but
Okay.
yeah, I can change it. Yeah.
So, but today, what does your client do today? I know you plan on changing it, but what does your client do today? Or from the last time that we worked on it, you had something in mind, but now you're going to shift it. But before you shift it, what is it? Or what was it?
Before the client was a wedding planner.
Was
Yeah.
it
A wedding planner.
wedding planner? All right.
Yeah.
All right. So wedding planner, cool. All right, but we're gonna change that. All right. The reason that I'm saying that we can stick with it for now is just so we can go through the thought process of when you select the color, you know the path that you're gonna go with it, right? So let's just imagine that you decided to stick with this cool color, right? And this could either be how your client shows up or how the mood of your client, right? They come across as a cool, relaxed, zen type individual. Where in a wedding situation, bridesmaids, the groom, sometimes that is more likely to be frantic, hectic. Like, we want to try to get this done. We don't know how all these people coming together, all these seats and charts. This aunt can't sit next to this uncle. I don't know if that's just TV weddings or if that's real life. I've only been a best man. I don't know that other side of things. But if that's the case, your client's mood of being cool should balance out the environment of weddings. You see where I'm going? So if what they're doing is hectic and you come with something cool, you should be able to bring a balance to it. All right. And that balance can now turn up in your client's process. Your client now reassures persons along the way. You're always reassuring them, making sure that they don't feel pressure at all. Your client may charge premium prices to make sure that the clients don't have to worry about a thing. You hire me, all you gotta do is show up on the wedding day. Everything else is taken care of, you know? So I know you're going to change, so I'm not going to go much deeper than that. But you could think about both, right? You could think about what they do, what their client is going to want, and then you could use the color to help fit like how you're going to really make them feel better. Savannah, remind me of your client as well. You can go ahead, drop that in the chat, and we're going to see. All right, Shantia, we got musician, cool colors, pastel tones, colors radiates calmness, joy, serenity. All right. Shantia, what kind of vibe music does your client do? You can drop that in the chat, or you can drop an existing artist if they live in that space, right? The calmness and joy kind of feels like not her, with Kendrick, the SZA. Is this person living in a SZA type place? Not quite. All right, cool. All right. So would it be their colors would be how they show up, or is it that, well, no, that's their music. Their music is that color palette, right? Event planner, artist, musician. Yes, those were the three, Michael. All right, perfect. Cool. And don't basically, you gotta say it with your chest. All right. Even if you're unsure, when you type it, like just be like, yeah. Got you covered. All right. So you're living in a SZA type place. I can see it. I can feel it. I know what that kind of sounds like. So let's say that you were going to do the stylescape, right? Then I want to feel that when I look at this stylescape, these are the feelings that I should get coming back to me, right? I should feel calm. I should feel like some kind of zen, serenity, but definitely you need to show that this person is going to be a musician. But that's all good. All right, Temple Tenny wears green. Wealth is what he wants to achieve. Wearing green is feelings again. But he want US dollars because Barbados is a rainbow. All right. All right. So Temple Teddy is driven by money, which is cool. That's good. So driven by money, driven by the lifestyle that finances bring. All right. I would challenge you to add some supporting colors to that green, right? Well, when I say supporting colors, like, all right, green, that's going to be US dollars. Cool. But if you're thinking in that space of money, finances, riches, wealth, I want you to add some more color in there that I could speak to the lifestyle. If Tempo Teddy 5-10 years down the road has that money or well on the way to have that money, what does that lifestyle feel like? And what is that lifestyle going to look like, right? Is he going to have mansion with a pool, like lots of space in the yard. He's gonna have multiple cars, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. And then just some colors that work with the green. All right, so complementary colors, those would have high contrast. So you probably don't want complementary. Let's see here. Let me pull that up for you.
I would recommend probably two colors if you're going the direction of he might become rich or he's well on his way to becoming rich. I might throw a little bit of gold in there because that's luxury and I have a perceived feel of luxury. And then black because it could pair very well with the green. However, it also got a bit of symbolism going on there because black is like strength from bold, and much people that rich in not going to be bold. You have to take bold moves to get there. So I think for the artist that's going with the green, I think the black will play a very good role with it. And I guess the gold is something you can also think about as well.
All good things, all good points. All right, so we would leave that decision up to you ultimately, Kimani. But yeah, you got green and gold. Green and gold, like if it's what kind of green is that? Like an emerald type green, like one of those deep, actually no, like a forest type green. So darker than money. You put gold on top of that, gold is gonna pop on top of that, which is nice. And you could decide if you want to go black or if you want to do another color. All right. Maybe like a deep blue. So not black, but like a deep, deep blue could
So
be
are you giving
interesting.
away my colors?
Say that one more time.
You're giving away my colors? My color scheme?
Not on purpose.
Okay, all right. Mhm.
Green and gold remind you too much of a leprechaun. All right. But I'm telling you, leprechauns get money. I'm just saying.
So the green and gold, I take luxury.
The green and gold
I take luxury.
Yeah, and
luxury.
leprechauns are luxurious. That leprechaun's got the pot of gold.
It
What more
just like
luxury you get than that?
definitely hit
But
hit Pinterest and look for, like, you could literally type in green
color
gold color
scheme.
palette, right? Or green gold luxury color palette. Because there's a certain type of green. Like none of the greens I
Is
showed you on screen is it, but you need a
I
emerald,
think the green is
emerald
called army
green?
green
yeah,
Is it emerald green?
or
yeah,
emerald green. But even
yeah,
army
yeah, yeah.
green would be a nice touch as well.
Right. But it's just deep enough that the gold is gonna pop, right? Then you find some other colors to go with that. All right, cool. Jamun, we got Veronica Leon, public speaker. All right, leaning towards complementary. Okay, okay. Some kind of orange and then a purple. All right, awesome. You're gonna have the challenge of not seeing Shafet every time you work with your client. All right. I'm just saying, you're gonna have that challenge of not seeing Shafet every time you see your client. That's fine though.
That is yellow and purple, not orange and purple.
All right, no problem.
I don't want yellow.
All right.
My client is a jazz musician,
Jazz
electric
musician.
jazz musician, electric
We
seven,
did.
and we're gonna come more dark blue tone, like yeah.
All right, Michael, drop that in the chat before Jamoon drop
Okay.
kick me
Yeah,
on
because
the
I'm gonna tell
chat.
you that she ain't finished yet, bro.
Oh, sorry.
That's the name of her time. All right. Assistance is I even get to that last sentence. Right. You want her to be a passionate speaker and you want her to stand out. Assistance is needed.
So
All
I
right.
want her to be like feminine too, in case she speaks about women, because I don't know, like most of a public speaker could be a motivational speaker, right? Or some different things.
Yeah, pretty much
Right. I want her to be a motivational speaker then.
all right.
So I
Cool.
want like femininity, but I know that's like pink, but pink is kind of close to purple, so I don't think that would fall under complementary.
I mean,
But
I feel like we passed pink being femininity at this phase. But I came
think more
across,
instinct, self-love, think things like that, that's what I
yeah,
going.
you
Or
could
to
do that with yellow.
confidence.
You could do it with yellow too, but I thinking I forgot the stuff I taught you just now. I was trying to figure out if it's the tone or the shade. It is the
One,
tone.
correct.
Sorry, it's the tint. that you gotta work on, right? You gotta add some weight to it. If you want that softness, add some weight to it, right? So rather than being the rich color, add some softness to it, or it has one color that's rich, and then the others are softer. That might help. That might help give that feminine vibe. All right, Jazari needs to do a cartwheel. I don't want you drifting off, you know. I quit with this screenshot. Just saying, if you fall asleep.
Sir, what was your last sentence? Before he just
Um,
not that. Free my
yeah, for
girl.
you.
Yeah.
I was saying you could use like one bold color and then the others are softer, like pastel.
Okay.
Because you want her to be a public speaker and you also want her to stand out. So there is some passion to it, right? She commands the stage, she speaks with authority, but she's also relatable. I was saying I came across a political figure from Jamaica. She is very feminine, but she's also very confident in what she does, right? She got like 12 German Shepherds at her house. Like, I don't know. I just saw some pictures from her IG and she got like 12 huge dogs.
Sir, who is she?
So let me see what's the best way to do this. They only page? Because I would have wanted to make a group chat, but I use my phone as my camera. So I can't really get to Instagram right now to let you know who the person is.
So I could like email you and remind you to share that with me.
Yes, do that. Do that.
Love.
Do that. You could do that right now. Send me the Jamaican politician's IG. And Savannah to express their emotions of passion or to attract attention. All right, what did Savannah say before that? Event planner, color is going to be red. You want to do monochromatic, okay? Event planner, red, monochromatic, right?
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, I'm still deciding between the event planner or musician.
Okay,
So
cool.
we could do.
For your thought process of what you're going to do, you can either A, do what you want to do, or B, see how many things, which way your peers are doing, your classmates are doing, and just do the opposite. Just be like, everybody doing musicians, I'm not doing a musician. All right, but that's up to you on that one. All right, so jazz musician, Electric 7. Was this the name of the band? Electric 7? Or that's the instrument?
That's the name of the band.
Name of the band. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes warm vibes. All right. So the colors that you're telling me for your musician, is that for the music, like the feeling of the music, or is that the person individually? Because he's part of a band.
The person he like dark colors, and the band now is play like I would say nice warm tones, leading into dark tones. So yeah.
All right, cool. Because you have, let's say you got groups like Outkast, right? Where you got Big Boy, you got Andre 3000. Andre 3000 is eccentric to the max. Like he would wear things that regular people wouldn't wear. He would try things that regular people won't try. All right. So that's what I was just wondering, like if the colors were for him personally, or if that is sound of the band. But yeah, you said it's more of his what he likes to wear. So that's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. And you guys can also let me know if thinking about color, right, just based on the conversation that we had, helps you think about your clients in a slightly different way, as opposed to what we did when we started, right? Where I told you like, come up with 3 adjectives to describe this person, right? Just let me know if color helped with that. If it did, you could just put a yes in the chat.
Oh, okay.
All right, because now this is another tool that you can use, and this is why This is part of what makes stylescapes even more impactful, right? Because now you know having colors in here can can communicate things to your client that you don't necessarily need to say in words. All right. Outstanding. All right. So what did we do? We spoke about colors. We then took those colors and applied it to our clients. We also took those, we wrote a little paragraph explaining why we're using those colors. Listen, one of the projects, the booth and rationale, right? There's the option to create a booth, which is going to be at this event, which is similar to Carifesta, similar to BMX, similar to Essence Fest, where your client is going to have their own space and they're going to be able to perform. Some of the parameters for that project require you to design the booth. Anything that you put in this booth, you need to have a reason for it. So this exercise, if you decide to use color as part of the booth, that's part of your rationale that you just did, right? One of the projects that you could possibly do, you just completed part of that project, even though you didn't realize you was doing it. So now if you were thinking to do the booth, or if you didn't even think about doing the booth, you could be like, you know what? All right, cool. So when I tell Sir about this booth, I'm going to say this booth is, let me read somebody's thing, right? This booth is going to have a red monochromatic color scheme. We're going to have red sofa. We're going to have red carpets. We're going to have red everywhere. Why? My client is passionate about events and I want to attract attention. I want to express those emotions to persons that come into my space. Now all of a sudden Savannah's like, right? Savannah knows what she's talking about. Just like that. All right. So I told you everything that we do connects. Granted, by the time you pick these 5 projects, you would have probably already done all 7 of them, but that's just my mad scientist genius at work. All right. Let's go. All right. So, before I completely lose my train, right? I was recapping. So we use the color to relate to our client. And now we were just talking about how those colors now communicate a certain mood from them. All right. So how can we build from here? All right. How can we build from here? You can take that paragraph. This isn't something you have to do right now, but you can take that paragraph. If you haven't thought about your audience, you can use that to help you figure out your ideal audience. Because if you pick a color palette for your client, that color palette should speak to the audience that you're talking to, right? So although we are possibly looking at it from the opposite direction, because this is school, we can do that. We get to reverse engineer it. So by using colors like green and gold, there's a certain clientele that's going to be attracted to that, right? If we're talking about Tempo Teddy, there's a certain audience that's going to be attracted to his music. Who is that person? If Tempo Teddy, all about that money, all about securing the bag, creating wealth, what does that mean? Is he like Russ, who speaks about financial literacy pretty much in his raps, owning his own masters, all of that stuff? Is that the content that he puts out? Cool. Is he more about I got money to blow, pop bottles? That's the vibe that he's on. Then that is probably a younger demographic. Like, you only live once. Let's celebrate today. It is Friday. It's the weekend. Let's go out. Let's party. Right. And it's all about that feeling of, I just have it. So I'm going to just blow it on people that I love. Right. People that are around me, I just blow it on a good time. If that's the case, then cool. Speak to that audience. Right. But I need you to be clear on who your audience is. All right. There has to be no doubt in your mind. The same way that I can tell you that my guy, the musician that creates music for, the spiel, 25 to 30-year-old women who love to dance in the kitchen while they're cooking. That's my guy's audience, right? That's who he speaks to. And all he guys will be doing is dancing all over the kitchen while they're cooking. Whether that's a two-step or a little bit extra. Maybe he does R&B and soca. I don't know, because you could dance wherever you want. All right. So slightly all over the place, but I'm gonna land this plane. And let's get into the final third. Speaking of final third, I did a mixtape with a friend of mine called Final Third. We had like 12 songs. It's older
You've
than
been
this.
living an interesting life.
I hope so. I hope so. That was an interesting phase. I don't want to do that. All right, so I don't want to have you guys doing flyers or anything like that. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'm going to do the last half of this. Let me stop this recording.